Prepare to uncover the shocking truth behind one of the oldest and most terrifying creatures in comics, an entity of pure plant matter that defined an archetype even before its more famous successors crawled out of the slime. We are about to dive into the story of the fallen German pilot who became a muck monster, a force of nature long before you might think. Hey clickers, subscribe with the bell activated, comment on the content you want to see on the channel, share this video to help us grow, and leave your hype. This helps us a lot. The creature known as the Heap is, in its essence, one of the first and most influential examples of a swamp elemental in comic book history, a designation that transcends its monstrous appearance and delves into the roots of its own existence. Its journey begins tragically during the First World War. Baron Erich von Emmelmann was a German flying ace, an elite pilot who met his end in 1918 when his plane was shot down over a Polish swamp. Instead of a clean death, his body plunged into the muddy waters and dense vegetation. Over decades, the flora and fauna of the swamp, in a supernatural symbiotic process, intertwined with the pilot's mortal remains. The persistent life force of von Emmelmann, his indomitable will to live, merged with the land, giving rise to a new form of life. This entity, which first emerged in Air Fighters Comics Volume 1 in 1942, published by Hillman Periodicals, was no longer human, but an amalgam of decomposing plant matter, earth, and the fragmented consciousness of a man. This primordial being is fundamentally a swamp elemental because its existence is intrinsically linked to the very swamp that created it. It is not simply a monster that inhabits the bog, it is the bog. Its physical form is composed of the vegetation, roots, branches, and muck of the environment. This direct connection means that its strength and its very life depend on the health and vitality of the swamp. In various of its incarnations, the creature demonstrated the ability to regenerate from surrounding plant matter, manipulate plants to attack its enemies, and communicate with wildlife. These attributes define it as a guardian or a personification of the ecosystem, a true avatar of the swampy nature, acting on instinct to protect its domain from external threats, whether human or otherwise. Its consciousness, though often primitive and confused, retains echoes of von Emmelmann's humanity, resulting in a behavior that oscillates between bestial fury and moments of unexpected kindness or heroism. Throughout its trajectory, the character passed through different publishers, each reinforcing its elemental status in distinct ways. After the end of the golden age of comics and the disappearance of Hillman, Skywald Publications revived the creature in the 70s. In this phase, its nature as a gothic horror monster was accentuated, but the fundamental connection to its swampy environment remained central. The stories explored its loneliness and the tragedy of its existence, a being trapped between the world of men and the natural world. Later, in the 90s, Image Comics reintroduced the character in its pages, notably in titles like Spawn. In this version, its appearance became even more grotesque, and its elemental abilities were expanded. It was portrayed as an ancient and powerful force, a being that personified the rot and rebirth inherent in a swamp, definitively consolidating its identity as an elemental. The legacy of this figure is undeniable, serving as a direct prototype for more well-known characters who came later, such as DC Comics Swamp Thing and Marvel Comics Man-Thing. Both share a remarkably similar origin, a scientist or individual who suffers an accident in a swamp and is transformed into a plant guardian. The creation of Swamp Thing by Len Wein and Bernie Wrightson in 1971, and the debut of Man-Thing by Stan Lee, Roy Thomas, and Jerry Conway in the same year, occurred long after the original Elemental had already established the mold. The very concept of an entity that is the living manifestation of a specific biome, acting as its protector and personifying its characteristics, was pioneered in the stories of the transformed German flying ace. Therefore, when analyzing all its appearances and evolutions, it becomes clear that the Heap is not just a swamp monster. It is the archetypal swamp elemental, the seed from which an entire subgenre of comic book characters has sprouted. We want to know what you think about this primordial titan of the muck. Did you know the full story behind the first great elemental creature of the swamps? Leave your opinion in the comments below. What other forgotten comic book character would you like to see unraveled on our channel? Don't forget to leave a like to support our work, Share this video with your friends who are fans of comics and the horror genre, and subscribe so you don't miss any of our future in-depth analyses. Your interaction is what moves us. Thanks.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards